Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. And yes guys, there were two brand new movies that were released on Christmas Day, and I watched both of them on Christmas Day, but I took a little bit to review both of them. The first of which is Soul, which is what I'm going to be reviewing today, and the second of which is going to be Wonder Woman. And so check out on the channel probably either the same day or the next day. I'm going to be releasing both videos, and also I'm going to have a video of just movies that I missed reviewing for 2020 before I hit my top 10 or top whatever of the year list when I do that on December 31st. So subscribe to the channel to see all those videos, but let's just jump right into this movie. Soul is a brand new movie from Disney and Pixar from the directors of Pete Docter and Kemp, and essentially it's about a middle school band teacher who maybe gets his break at actually becoming a great jazz musician in the greater world of jazz, and he falls in a manhole and dies, and his soul needs to try to get back to his body before, he goes on to the great beyond. That is the basic, very basic premise that you get from the trailers, but this movie is so much more than that, which is what I appreciated so much and what I love about Pixar. And that premise, as funny as that sounds, that this guy who finally reached his dreams, I feel like this is going to happen to me one day. I finally reach my dreams, I get the gig, they're going to make my script into a full feature film, and I'm going to fall and die, or something's going to happen to me, a bag of bricks is going to fall on my face, and I'm going to have a brutal, just horrific death and tragic death, and it's going to be really all sad because I won't be able to make that movie. And everybody has stuff like that. Whatever your passion is, whatever your story is, whatever your goal is in life, sometimes either you don't reach it or things get in the way, and that's what this movie's about. This movie is really about a character who has a dream of something, and every little thing throughout his entire life has gotten in the way of that. The amount of rejections, the amount of hardships that he had, and the acceptance from his mother, and all these different storylines that you meet about this character and all these different paths that this movie goes down. It is so just relatable in every sense of the word. And yes, this movie deals with very fantastical things and very out there ideas, like the idea of him dying and popping up on this bridge, and there's this beautiful, the animation, this entire sequence is incredible, of this crazy looking light that is the great beyond, and this bridge that's leading up to it, and all these souls that are on its way towards that, and him falling down and through into the great before, and this whole idea of how each soul gets their personality traits and all these different aspects of their being before they go down to earth, and all these different crazy ideas that seem so out there, yet this movie is so relatable. And that's kind of what Pixar does so well, is it takes a concept, some crazy idea that there are 5 emotions in your head, and those emotions have their own adventures inside of your brain, and all the memories that they shoot up randomly, like the bubblegum commercial and Inside Out, all these different really cool ideas, and yet it's so relatable, and you watch it as an audience member, as anybody at any age, you can watch it and really put yourself into that role and think, what would happen with me? What were my personality traits? What is my purpose in life, essentially? That's what this movie's about. It's about your purpose in life. And yes, that is a massive, massive question. Things that we ask ourselves every single day. And yet the movie doesn't pretend to think it has all the answers, because this movie doesn't have all the answers, because we will never have all the answers. And that's kind of the message and the theme of this movie, which I think is so beautiful, because again, Pixar doesn't make movies for kids. This really is aimed for, the main character is a middle-aged middle school teacher who has kind of reached a point in his life where he feels like if he were to die that day, would he have had a life that was worth living? And that's so tragic. It's so sad and heartbreaking, this character reaching a point of his life where he does it. This movie's a midlife crisis. That's what this movie is about. And yet it works so perfectly for kids, because there's little jokes where the soul eats a pizza, and since the soul can't taste or feel anything, it just kind of poops it out, and it's so funny, and the comedy in this movie is brilliant. This movie strikes the perfect chord of humor and of serious, life existential questions, which is such a weird, bizarre thing to balance, but that's exactly what this is, and what Pete Docter does so well in all of his films, because he's done movies like Up. I believe he worked on WALL-E, but I know for a fact that he directed Inside Out, which is probably my favorites of the modern Pixar movies, of the newer age Pixar movies. I actually have a list ranking all 22 Pixar movies, and now this is 23. I think it actually cracks my top 10 just barely. I think I like it better than Up, which is his first movie, and I think it's probably hits right around my 9 list. I'm going to update that in the comment section of that video, but I loved this film. It's not as emotionally wrecking as some other Pixar movies like Inside Out. There are so many great character moments in this movie, so many great emotional moments in this movie, but the movie's not really trying to tug at those heartstrings like other movies try to do. Pixar does a great job at just doing that, and there's one aspect that I haven't talked about, which is the other soul that he kind of finds on his journey that doesn't really want to go to Earth, which is a different concept entirely from him, where he is dying to go back to Earth because he wants to get back to his body because he already experienced so many things and he has this opportunity to get. But he runs into this other soul voiced by Tina Fey, and her character basically has never been on Earth, has never been in a human body, and has never experienced these things, and so she doesn't really know if she wants to even go to Earth at all, and she likes being a lost soul, she likes being in this world, in this great before, and she doesn't want anything else with herself. And there are even moments in this movie that remind me of Spirited Away, so there's some really great broad elements in this movie that you never got to see in those trailers, which is why I really don't want to spoil anything for you guys, because this movie goes a lot further than you expect from that initial trailer. And again, Pixar, with their concepts and their beautiful animation, again, their animation at this point has become so just perfect. There is not a frame in this movie that I wouldn't hang on a wall. It is gorgeous. The landscapes, the different styles, the character designs of the Jerrys and Terrys of the world, which again, that's another thing that I don't want to get into, because I mean, it's great, but I don't even know what they are. I don't know what they are, but I love them. I loved every aspect of them. They were great. And so I can go on and on and on and rave about this movie, but I'm going to end it here. If you guys have not seen Soul, go watch it. It's on Disney Plus. If you have a membership of Disney Plus, it's no extra charge on top of that. So this was a great Christmas gift. I love this movie. There's not a single negative that I have for it. It's probably up there in my favorites of the year. It's definitely top 3. And I said at the very beginning of the year, I don't believe I did an anticipated list, but I said earlier in the year that my top 2 is going to be Tenet and is going to be Soul. And I don't think Tenet's in my top 3, definitely not. But Soul is definitely going to be in that top 3, if not top 2 spot. So I loved this movie. Tell me what you guys thought in the comments down below, and rank all the Pixar movies for me. If you guys can check out my other video, and I would probably put this one at the 9 spot. So that's pretty much my list and rankings of it. But I'd like to hear all you guys' thoughts as well. So thanks guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, watch my Wonder Woman review, which I'm going to do right after this, and it's probably going to come out either today or tomorrow. So thanks guys for watching, and I hope to see you all in my next one.